All right, guys. I know I missed, I think, last Sunday's video because I've been really busy. Work's been crazy. Anyway, I think I showed you guys a CAD drawing of what I'm going to print out and what I'm going to build next. And this is it right here. So this little piece right here with this cap holds the disc magnet. This is a really powerful magnet, and it will be trapped like that and then attached to the end there, and there'll be 8 of them going all the way around this system here. So this is I think it's an 8-inch rotor. It's massive. And so there'll be 8 of these going all the way around like that. Right now I'm printing a spindle core, and I'm going to use this carbon fiber, these carbon fiber tubing. It's going to go through there, through the spindle core, and then on each end I'm going to design a cap that will hold a ceramic bearing. So this thing will be running off of the ceramic bearings, because I didn't want to deal with building, a magnetic suspension system. The ceramic bearings are great. You guys seen them on this thing here. Oops. Yeah, they spin really good and really free. This is also a carbon fiber rod, but that's a solid rod. I may opt to go with the solid one. I don't know yet. But right now I'm working on the premise of using one of these, and it will fit right through there. Like I said, I've got these spacers here, which are the exact height, which is 40 millimeters. And then once I get this guy built, so I'll do the glue up a little bit later on with the spindle core in there. And once the glue up is done, and unfortunately it's not going to be a fast glue up. I can't use crazy glue. Crazy glue is good, but it isn't good for acrylic for long term. So if you're going to if you're going to glue 3D prints together, you use this stuff. This is Fast Set Clear number 16. This stuff is great. This is what I use to glue all my coils together. I got my little prairie there of coils. But that's what I use to glue these coils together. Let me find one of the other ones I just did. Yeah, so a coil like this that I print in 2 sections. All right, I print the center piece and this together as one, and then I just print the lid as the second one. And I glue it together with this stuff. This stuff is great. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully here within the next few minutes, I'm going to get the printout done for the core, which will also allow me to align these really well. This is a really tight fit, so it's going to be nice. Anyway, once I get it all glued up, I'll show you. Ciao. Also, this was the last coil that I made the way Sky makes them, nice and patiently, one line after another. And I built this coil. It's a great coil, but I didn't make it deep enough, so I reprinted and glued these together with that glue I just showed you. This is a little bit deeper, so I should be able to make a fatter coil. Now that I'm actually looking at it, I'm thinking maybe it's not deep enough. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Because if you look at one of Sky's coils, he leaves a lot of room so that he could make it bigger if he wanted to. I also ordered and received 1/4-inch acrylic plates. Now I'm thinking I should have gotten 1/8 inch, because what I want to do is I want to take this this blueprint kind of the coil housing, and I'm going to make an acrylic piece the same dimension, but a little bit smaller, and maybe not with the angles cut in. Just make it round and attach it to this to give it a little bit more support, because this was a long print. It doesn't look like much, but it was a long print, and I didn't do a very thick infill. I think I did it like 10% or something. So I really need something to strengthen it, and I'm going to use the acrylic. I got the 1/4 inch. I looked at it. It looks like it's a little too thick. I think what Sky uses is 1/8 inch. An 1/8 inch, I mean, the 1/4 inch would work fine on that too, but I think that would then make it a little bit too heavy. So I think I got to order some 1/8 inch acrylic sheets. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that coil. All right, ciao. All right, I got about another 40 minutes before the core is printed out, but I wanted to kind of show you what this thing is going to look like. It's going to be huge. And it's going to be kind of okay. It runs pretty true. Yeah, no, it actually runs really true. That's the one great thing about 3D printing is you can almost get not perfect, but close to dead on if you print with a high resolution. And I didn't with these, but because they're so big, I don't think it really matters. I'm a little worried though about the spacers. I wasn't thinking when I put those spacers in, and I don't think they're evenly spaced. So what I may have to do is break those off. What I'll do is I'll see if I can balance it. I'll put it on something and see how far off it is. I didn't think about it when I was doing it. I was doing it really quick, and I didn't put this, like I said, I didn't put the spacers in there perfectly even, and I think that's going to come back to bite me in the ass in the long run. That's what I get for being so impatient. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you kind of what it's going to look like. Of course, it's going to have this on there, and then the brown gold color, like that. Yeah, anyway, ciao. Yeah, one more thing. So I'm trying to figure out what to call this thing. I've already used Monster Rotor for my other big rotor, the big maglev. And this guy is the solenoid motor. So I've already used Monster Rotor, so I can't use that again. I can't call it Monster 2. Being that it's 8-sided, I can call it Octo Monster or something like that. I don't know. But if anybody's got a clever idea, if they even care what to call this thing, maybe I can't call it, yeah, Octo something. Monster Octo, Octo Monster. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Ciao. You know, I have yet to try out Sky's coil. And as you can see, it works great. I just put this this little rotor that I have with the ceramic bearings just right on top of it. And it is flying. It's really weird about the JL94 circuit. It'll get it going, but if I get it to spin, if I really give it a hand, let me turn this off. If I really give it a hand to get it going, it'll then start flying. But yeah, you can see that is a good coil. Now let's pop it on again, see what happens. There it goes. And this is one of the newer JL94 circuits. Yikes. I wonder what would happen if I turn it this way. It's still going, not slowing down, so I guess it really doesn't matter. Yeah, those bearings, those ceramic bearings are great. I just wanted to try out his rotor because I hadn't tried it out. I mean, his coil, I'm sorry. I hadn't tried it out yet. That thing flies, man. And this is just a little makeshift rig. Anyway, I couldn't not give it a try before I posted this stuff up to you guys, to the tube, the tube. But yeah, those ceramic bearings are great. And of course, I knew his rotor was going to be, I mean, I'm sorry, I keep saying his rotor, his coil worked fantastically. Anyway, there it is. I forgot I had another coil I needed to test. This one's crazy. I better turn this down. Yeah, this one's a little crazy. I got to turn it down because that is a killer coil. And so this coil has a drive side and a pickup side. As you can see, it's lighting this house light, this 120 volt house light. That's at 8 volts. I completely forgot that I had this, that I didn't test this one. I did test this one, I think. But this is a nice little test rig. I didn't realize that I could just plop it on top of these different coils and it will work. So that's at 8. Let me jostle it down to 7. Still flying, still producing output. Let's drop it down to 6. So it's at 6.7. Still flying. See how low we can go. 5.3. 5.3. Still going. Not really producing anything though now on the output side. But it's still going. So if I juice it back up, 12.8. Now we're producing on both ends there. Yeah, let's turn it back down again. Actually, let's turn it off. Yeah, so I didn't test this coil properly, or I think I did. It was just this coil I didn't test. But yeah, this is a beast of a coil. Oh, that's what I'll call this thing. The Beast. Yeah, the Beast. All right, cool. Ciao. All right, so the first phase of it is done. The glue up of the body itself. Now I have to design a bearing bracket or housing for the outside there. Oh, actually, no. No, I'm not going to do that. What am I saying? Because this is now physically, the stem here is physically attached to this. So I will just use something like this. I won't use this. This is just a prototype that that I made where I could take different bearing housings or holders or whatever you want to call them and stick them in there. I'm going to have to make something bigger though and much stronger, which I'll probably not 3D print. I'll probably just make it out of that 1/4 inch. I also have 1/2 inch acrylic. Yeah. And I'll 3D print a bearing housing for that. So it'll sit in the acrylic and it will hold this beast up. The beast motor. I know that's kind of, oops, shit. Kind of cringe, but, oh, come on. There we go. The beast motor. Anyway. Yeah, I haven't forgotten you either, buddy. I got to take him apart, though, because I want to wind thicker wire, make bigger coils. We're going to be exactly the same. It's just going to be 23 gauge wire, and it's going to come all the way to the edge here. It'll have the same setup like this because I kind of like that setup. And then when I put it back together, I'll figure out what's making that rattling sound. It spins nice and easy because, again, it's on ceramic bearings. So it's cool that way. But yeah, I gotta take it apart, and I hate doing that because this is a pain to get together just right. Anyway, I'm working on this guy now, though. So unfortunately, this glue takes a little while to cure. They say 24 hours. You can work with it within a certain amount of time, but I don't want to fart around. And then I will actually glue the housings on this way so that the bearing, oh shit, it's all right. So that the bearing will sit up against the wall lips, which will then hold it in. And then maybe for decoration, oh come on, what the fuck? Sorry. Maybe for decoration I will put the gold plated cover on every other one to mark the different poles. I don't know. But we gotta let this puppy dry. All right, ciao guys.